Hi guys, this is Faizan Siddiqui from Cric and I welcome you all to the T20 World Cup 2022 series. Today is going to be our first video and we are going to be talking about the groups. So, it's the Super 12s. Let's talk about the Group A, where we have England, New Zealand, Australia, and Afghanistan. And who has joined them? The teams that have joined them are Ireland and Sri Lanka, which makes it a very tough group. You have the Asia Cup champions that have joined them. You have England, already champions and semi finalists in the last tournament. You have New Zealand and Australia, finalists of the last tournament. And you have Afghanistan, who are always a bit difficult to tackle with all these mystery spinners that they have. And you have Ireland, who've been phenomenal in the qualifying stages. The way they've played against Scotland, the way they've played against West Indies, Curtis Campher's innings, Paul Sterling, everybody putting their hands up. So let's talk about the qualification scenarios and not scenarios, but just chances and what I personally feel. So let's talk about England first. Now, England have dominated Australia in the series that they just played against Australia in Australia, so they make very strong case for their contention. You have New Zealand, who've always been a bit jittery when it comes to Australia. They've not played well in Australia in the World Cup 2019 as well, where Australia hosted it. The only game New Zealand lost was in Australia, the final. Uh, so Australia in their home conditions, always a very strong side to beat. Afghanistan lack batting, lack pace bowling, so we'll not go there a lot. But Sri Lanka and Ireland also make a case for themselves. Like there could be upsets, but a very likely qualification England, Australia, probably. All right, so individual teams, what I personally feel is that England's game is suited to Australia because they go out bang, 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 and that's something that helps when you because you don't have to score in a different way when it comes to death overs because you have huge boundaries, so you can't rely on your abilities to hit sixes all the time. New Zealand have some good hitters. They've got good inning builders like Kane Williamson and Devon Conway. But I mean, I think they lack a bit in the spin department, and in grounds that are huge, spin does play a role. If you have good spinners, you have certain chances of controlling the game, of not getting hit for a lot of boundaries. Otherwise, edges fly for four. There are huge gaps in the ground. There can be good drives. They have great outfields in Australia. Like all the grounds that are being played on have great outfields. So if you have a bit more spin in your armory, it helps. Australia look a very balanced side. You look at Adam Zampa, you look at Ashton Agar, Pat Cummins, Hazelwood, Mitchell Stark. I mean, that is a very good bowling lineup. But they've chopped and changed a lot. They've chopped and changed a lot coming into the World Cup. Like Cameron Green was there, now Cameron Green is not. Matthew Wade is in the team, but like Josh Inglis is out, so who's their backup keeper? There are some thoughts that are going into the Australian cap. Stephen Smith, what's his position? I mean, is he playing? Should he play or not play? Like there's some doubts with Finch's head, which he needs to get clear. Like who, if David Warner is opening, where do you play Cameron Green? If you play him, what role does Marcus Stoinis play? What role does Mitchell Marsh play? Do you have someone to sandwich between Matthew Wade and Marcus Stoinis, or do you want to go bam, bam, bam? So I mean, they have players, they have cricketers that have put their hands up and come out to play, but still they're a bit confused. But they have a very balanced squad, is what I would say. They can choose any 11 and it would fire on the field. Afghanistan, as I've already said, they lack intent in their batting at times. I mean, there's Shahidi, there's Rahmanullah Gurbaz, there's Zazai, who's clearly out of form. But yeah, they do lack a lot of batting and they do lack a lot of bowling as well. So It works well with the associate teams. It works well with teams that are not doing well on the international stage a lot. But when it comes to real tournaments, when it comes to the real deal, I think Afghanistan are going to have a very tough time. For me, they are probably, if not the weakest, the second weakest side in this uh, group. Now let's talk about Ireland. I loved what Ireland did. I loved what Ireland are doing. The thing is that they're not playing dot balls. I mean, that is how you play T20 cricket. You cannot hit boundaries all the time. That is how you play T20 cricket, especially in a country like Australia, where the boundaries are huge. You need to accumulate those singles. You need to accumulate those runs. Go slowly about your runs. Do not play dot balls. They are not playing dot balls, and I have loved that about Ireland. And they're bowling a lot. They're bowling a lot of dot balls. The stats are phenomenal with Ireland. Whatever I've gone through in the past three games that they've had, so I am looking at Ireland to cause one upset. I can guarantee if they were in the other group, they would have upset maybe Bangladesh or even Pakistan for that matter. But in this group, because the other three teams and the other five teams, the three teams, the top teams are different and on a different scale altogether. And Afghanistan won't be an upset. Uh, but I'm looking at Ireland. You should look at Ireland more closely. That's what I would say. Now let's come to the Asian champions. They are a weird case. What a case they are. What nobody Sri Lanka themselves did not expect themselves to win the Asia Cup. Nobody expected Sri Lanka to come out and perform and come all guns blazing like they did. The intent that they've showed while they're chasing is phenomenal. And even in the qualifiers, the way they've bowled, but they're lacking a lot of pacers now. Like they do not have a lot of bowlers. Dushman Shamira is out, Madhushna is out, so they're going to have a tough time when it comes. I think Pratham Nisanka is out as well with some injury. So Sri Lanka will have a tough time not with their A team, but what a way to come! What a way to come! In the past 1 year, I really thought that if they had their A team, they could have caused an upset. They could have caused an upset to either of the top three. England, New Zealand, Australia. One of them would be like, oh my god, we have to face Sri Lanka now. So that's it. That's it about Group A, guys. Uh, stay tuned for more about. Stay tuned for Group B. The video is coming up next. It would be here. So.